what's really dangerous but everyone treats it like it's safe. First story. Long hair around pulleys and belts. In 11th grade I had hair down to my butt and was weirdly pretty good at working the horizontal lathe at my school. Tons of rotating parts, it's used to cut and shave down pieces of metal. I had my hair in a ponytail instead of a bun and I thought someone was pulling my hair and then my head slammed down to the machine and within like 3 seconds my hand broke cause I put my hand in to save my hair. My classmate pulled the plug on the machine and saved my life. Second story. I get a lot of tourists in my area trying to casually summit the local 14,000-foot mountain in sandals. Some weeks in the summer are absolutely nuts for search and rescue and the emergency room staff. Third story. Compressed air. I was once putting air in a car tire while on a road trip with a friend. After filling the last tire I handed him the tube and started screwing on the cap. For some dumb fucking reason, he thought it would be funny to stick the air tube in my ear and turn it on. I couldn't hear out of that ear for like 20 minutes and it hurt so fucking much. I probably should have gone to the hospital but the pain went away almost instantly and my hearing came back so I just didn't fucking go. Fourth story. Infections. Every person reacts differently to them. Don't assume you are the average. Met a woman and her husband in 2018 at a show, nice people. Few months later she messaged our group chat and her husband had died of sepsis. He'd been sick but refused to go to the hospital because of expenses. In the end, he lost his life trying to save money. He was only in his early 30s too. Fifth story. Trampolines. As a little kid, 5 or 6, I was on a trampoline with my older cousin and her friend, who were both probably double my size. At one point they decided to have my bounce way higher. I went flying up over the sides, it was enclosed, and came down hard. I have no idea how I didn't break my neck that day. Sixth story. Water on the road. You might be able to drive through it, but more often than not you shouldn't try to. I found this out early on. I was like 15, and driving my grandparents' Honda Pilot on a 55 mph road. Grandpa was in the passenger seat with me. I saw a puddle on the road at a little valley that didn't look too deep. I figured it'd just splash out to the sides of the car and we'd keep going no issues. I didn't change speed at all and hit this puddle. It was a lot deeper than I thought. The car slowed down super fast, water sprayed up all over the windshield and blinded us, and I could absolutely feel that the car lifted a decent amount off the ground. Luckily, I maintained control, we didn't even swerve, I just slowed down and wiped away the water on the windshield. Worst thing that happened is the car got a little bath in some road water. Still, that taught me to not fuck around with puddles on the road. Seventh story. Wild animals. I was in Thailand when a 30-year-old got bitten by a monkey. Her complaint? No one had warned her not to pet the monkeys. Eighth story. A few days before my wedding, my wife, my sister and a couple of her kids went to a ranch where we rode horses for an hour or two. Fun outing, right? My sister fell off her horse and walked back with it, she wasn't going to get back on. For the next couple days she was telling us she must have pulled a muscle or something when she fell, because it kept hurting. Yeah, we'd say, a bit sick of hearing about it. She finally went to the hospital. Had 2 broken ribs and a punctured lung and had to spend the night while they drained her abdominal cavity. Ninth story. Blunt kitchen knives. One might think, oh, this is just a flat piece of steel, but cutting becomes tearing and crushing. The extra force this takes can easily send the knife off in an unintended direction in a swift and uncontrollable manner. Then you find out what a flat piece of steel can do to your fingers. 10th story. Loneliness. The NHS, British healthcare system, did a study like this, develop a statistical definition of loneliness, a threshold of social connections, below which, the subject is pretty surely lonely. Examine the difference in death rate between people in the same demographic categories, who are lonely, as defined, or not lonely. Being lonely turns out to have about the same risk as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to notifications for new incredible stories.